Nothing compares to the extraordinary relationship a small child has with an animal. It might be among the most unique partnerships ever. Knowing that their human is little and defenseless, the animal will give their last life to defend the kid whom they will love with all of their heart. This type of relationship is the subject of today's tale. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. Lisa's parents passed away when she was a newborn. The only person remaining in her life was her father's mother, who was an off-grid homesteader. Lisa's grandma, Nan, was delighted to take her in. It was the same home her father had grown up in. A part of her son and the daughter-in-law, whom she had loved as her own, were living with Nan, who loved the young girl very much. Therefore, if Nan had the authority to grant it, there wasn't anything that Lisa could not receive. Nevertheless, Lisa was a pleasure to be around and never grew spoiled. Her upbringing in the great outdoors provided her with a childhood most of us could only imagine. She respected nature in a healthy way since it kept her secure. However, she never refused to assist an animal in need. She once came upon a wounded bird with a broken wing. She took care of it until it recovered enough to go back into the wild. Lisa was always fascinated to animals, according to Nan, and even as a small child she would assist in taking care of the animals on the ranch. When Lisa reached school age, she detested leaving the property and her animals behind. Children in the neighborhood used to have to travel to the city and live in boarding schools full-time. But fortunately for Lisa, times had changed. They would ride their four-wheeler to the nearby farm, where there was a little school. When the weather became too dangerous in the winter, they could stay inside and complete their work online. Lisa could stay with her Nan and the animals for the time being, but she would still have to attend to boarding school. The little daughter and Nan were strolling the property when the girl was around 6 or 7 years old, gathering firewood for the winter. They would require a great deal, and making enough preparations for winter and the summer was one of the most crucial tasks. Next, they discovered a bear trap, which Nan had not previously set. Although she would go hunting for sustenance, she disapproved of traps that caused harm to animals. These bear traps were a terrible idea since they would break an animal's bones and leave it to die. A wolf was trapped inside. She was injured and did not survive. Little Lisa was devastated, but then Nan's eyes shifted to something else. The wolf had milk. There were infants out there waiting for their mother, who would never return. Lisa pleaded with her grandmother to locate and tend to the pups in the woods. Though Nan was concerned that they would not survive either, she still intended to look for them. Although she knew it would make Lisa even more vulnerable, she was unable to stop it. She was familiar enough with her granddaughter to understand that she would never simply return home. They looked all about and tried to get the puppies to come out by calling to the wolves. At last, they detected faint whimpers. 3 tiny wolves emerged from the den. Even though they must have recognized it wasn't their mother calling, their hunger drove them to venture outside. Nan saw that the puppies weren't very little. They might have a chance if they could get them to eat. Nan took up one of the wolf babies. The other 2 puppies were then taken home by Mom after she had picked them up herself. When they got home, they chopped some beef and placed the puppies in a box with some blankets. Lisa fed them by hand as she sat with them. They weren't sure how to consume the unfamiliar meat at first, but soon their instincts and hunger took over, and they gobbled the stuff down. Lisa would feed them several times a day after that, and they adored her. Every time they spotted her, they licked and crawled all over her. Although the young puppies loved Lisa, they were still untamed creatures. They weren't pets, as Nan had warned her. The wolves needed to learn how to live independently from them. The young wolves would greatly benefit from having each other if they were to form their own tiny pack. Lisa began teaching them how to survive outside by concealing their food and allowing them to discover it, with Nan's permission. They engaged the wolves in a variety of enrichment activities. When they were first puppies, Nan and Lisa would only walk them when they could spend time with them. After the wolves grew larger and the area was secure, Nan and Lisa let the wolves wander free in the large paddock that Nan had constructed for them, complete with a lair. They came and went as they pleased, and they lived their lives pretty much like any other wolf would. The small girl and these wolves were similar in that they enjoyed cuddling together after school. That was a really great life. The wolves had been coming and going for over 2 years. Lisa was traveling alone to school on her four-wheeler at this point. She could go there and back, and she knew the area. She was a rural girl at heart, raised on the land, even if she was still quite young. One day, Lisa came home from school, and her grandma was nowhere to be seen. After a thorough search, she eventually heard Nan's cry from the barn. When the ladder broke when Nan was fixing a higher-up window, she fell. She broke her arm and threw her back out. Nan had been laying on the chilly ground for some time, unable to get up on her own. Lisa dashed to get their phone. She made an assistance request. Because the first responders were far away, a chopper was dispatched to come get Nan. Nan didn't want to leave Lisa alone, but there wasn't room in the helicopter for Lisa to go. She was required to swear she would ride her four-wheeler over to the neighbors and ask them to look after her. Nan wouldn't let the doctors take her away till after that. Lisa watched as the chopper descended and shrank in size. She might not have gone to the neighbor immediately, but that was her goal. Time remained. Her first priority was to ensure that every animal was well cared for and attended to. She made sure the hens and goats had clean water and fed them. She also made sure there was an ample supply of bedding in the wolf lair. When she was at last prepared to go, it was growing darker. She chose to go out in the morning since she knew Nan would not enjoy it if she rode in the dark. Even though she was a little child, she thought she could take care of herself. She was unaware of the extent of the danger, though, and Nan would never have left Lisa alone if she had known what occurred a short distance away. Lisa was receiving assistance for Nan at the same time that two prisoners had broken out of police custody. They were attempting to flee while hiding in the jungle. This brought them to the land of Nan and Lisa. They had crept inside the barn during the night and were hiding there. As dawn broke, Lisa bumped into them while heading to her four-wheeler so she could fulfill her vow to Nan. The young child cried out in pain as they snatched her, but for miles around, no one was home. The inmates weren't taking any risks, but the police search was too far away to hear her cries. They made threats with a pistol in an attempt to silence her. They were more than eager to injure her, regardless of her age, if she was the only thing preventing them from being free. They were unaware, though, that she had some backup plans of her own. The three wolves suddenly appeared in front of the men, while growls were heard behind them. They were like full-blown wolves now, but they were always so lovely to Lisa. The wolves pursued the guys after they abandoned the girl and attempted to flee. They held on till Lisa gave them a call again. She summoned emergency services once more, and when they arrived to take up the two prisoners, they were covered in bruises and blood. The cops made sure Lisa got to the neighbors this time. She remained there until Nan could return home, at which point the mother, the daughter, and their pack of wolves could all be reunited. I appreciate you seeing. Come back soon for more motivational tales. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.